I be a fairly heavy sleeper. It usually takes someone actually shaking me to wake me up. Last nightfall, I woke up for apparently no reason. Groggy and upset I was awake. I looked at me long-distance parrot to spy with me eye how much time I had left to slumber before I had to get up and get ready to set the sails. I've burned a lot of bridges in me life in the hour and it hurts me to shout it, but I don't really have any buckos other than me brother and me, the best bucko who lives with me. When I looked at my long-distance parrot to check the hour, I noticed I had a missing message from a long-distance parrot number, not saved in me personal long-distance parrot. They left a voice. To hour onto voicemail is 38 minutes after midnight. Odd, I thought. Usually me drunk desperate acquaintances don't call me for a voyage till after the bars close at 2:30. Open to voicemail, I hear a female voice. I immediately recognize it as an ex-witch from several years ago. She be crying. The best I can translate her to sobs be, please message me, I be going to do something bad and I ain't take it anymore. The pain be too much. After that I can hear her trying to speak but I ain't understand what she be saying. I set to sails as a lawman dispatcher, and I usually have to pick someone off the edge of suicide, or at least once per nightfall, but it be usually someone I don't be knowing. And I don't be knowing why, but not knowing a person somehow make it easier. I knew I had the skills to save her life. I called her back in the first 5 minutes or so, and I couldn't even understand her. Finally, I had her come below that be all that I can take by understanding her, and was able to hear, but I be not be shouting. She had gotten fired and went home to her boyfriend, upset and looking for support. He hit her and then threw her against the wall and screamed at her for screwing up again. She told me she was on her way to be off to spy witchy eye to show one last hour before she ended it. She told me she was going to Silent Rock to die. I talked to her for 45 minutes or so. It took me to drive down to Silent Rock. I got her calmed below and I made her agree she wouldn't murder herself till she talked to me and then still didn't have a reason to live. When I got there, she was shivered in the cold and still crying. I've never seen anyone so grog-filled to spy with your eye another human. I put her in a ship and took her around the fitter ship, but it was nowhere to be seen. I still have no idea how she got to a place so far from her ship. She was silent the whole voyage home, but we got to me ship. I grabbed her a blanket and a pillow and laid them on the couch. She hugged me and thanked me for saving her life. I put that 70s show, a show I remember her loving when we dated. Once she drifted off to slumber, I sat there for another hour making sure she was actually out. I went to my room and went to slumber. I woke up the next day and the blanket I laid out for her was folded and the pillow was on top. She was gone, probably to repair the damage that had been done the night before. I went to scavenge some booty, and when I got off booty scavenging, I called her to spy with the eye how she was faring, and to make sure she was still stable. A male voice I didn't recognize answered into long-distance parrot. "Ahoy!" I replied. "Avast there, I be worried about Sabrina. She had the rough nightfall and just be checking in on her." I'll never forget the response I got. Be to some horrible joke? What arsehole thinks it's a hardy har-har to torment a salty sea dog, or a father who lost a child a month after he's lost his baby to line disconnected? I put up the long-distance parrot number in me long-distance parrot to message her back, and I noticed that I had a missing message from her exactly 1 month prior. I don't be knowing what exactly happened that nightfall, but I visited her grave this day, and I still don't believe it. Please don't slumber with your long-distance parrot on silent. You might miss the most important call of your life.